The Galactic auction station floated like a jewel in the void, its polished domes and landing pads bustling with hundreds of species from across the stars. Ships of every shape and size lined the docks, their engines humming, hulls gleaming, and exotic technology flashing with neon lights. But among all the vessels, one ship stood out, and not for its beauty. It was dark, angular, and aggressive in design. Its sharp wings and narrow hull made it look like a predator, ready to strike at any moment. But its weapons systems were offline, its thrusters scarred by battle, and its AI seemed dormant. A small plaque hung crookedly on its hull: the Predator, reclaimed battle cruiser. Aliens of all kinds moved around the ship cautiously. Many stopped to peer at it. Some whispered to each other in strange clicks and hums. A few pointed at the battle's scars. "Dangerous," one said. "Unstable," another added. Kale, a young human mechanic, stood at the edge of the crowd, his hands stuffed into the pockets of his worn jumpsuit. He was only 16, but his eyes were sharp, constantly scanning every detail. Most of the aliens ignored him, thinking humans were naive and weak. But Kale had a gift. He could see the potential others missed. "This ship, it's brilliant," he whispered to himself, stepping closer. The crowd parted slightly as he examined the hull, noting subtle details. The battle damage wasn't random, it was clever. Someone had repaired it before, leaving modular upgrades hidden beneath panels. Even the AI interface looked like a human had designed it, using logic that made sense to a human mind. The auctioneer, a tall amphibious alien with shiny purple scales, cleared his throat. "Next item, ladies and gentlemen. Observe the so-called Predator, a battle cruiser of unknown origin. Estimated starting bid, 300,000 galactic credits," bidders murmured among themselves. The sleek black ship glinted in the station lights, but no one moved forward. Its AI remained silent. Its aggressive design frightened more than it impressed. One bidder, a four-armed insectoid, approached. He tapped the hull with a claw. "Too aggressive, too dangerous. It might attack us if it wakes up." Another, a tentacled merchant, shook its head. "And it doesn't even work. Weapons offline, shields unstable, not worth a fraction of the price." The auctioneer's voice rose. "Do I have any interest? Any takers? This ship is a rare find, not meant for the faint-hearted." Silence. Kale's heartbeat quickened. Most would have walked away, most feared risk. But Kale saw something else: opportunity. He raised his hand. "I'll take it," he said. The crowd turned. The insects clicked, tentacles waved, and the auctioneer blinked in surprise. "You human. Do you even understand what you're bidding on?" "I do," Kale said confidently. "I can fix it." Murmurs spread. A human fix an aggressive battle cruiser? Surely this was madness. The auctioneer raised an eyebrow. "Very well, sold to the human. 300,000 credits." "Pay up." Kale handed over a stack of his savings, small, crumpled notes he had earned fixing small ships and gadgets on the outer rim. The aliens gasped. They had assumed humans were weak, naive, and short-sighted. Kale smiled quietly, hiding his excitement. As he stepped aboard, the ship groaned. The lights flickered and a low hum vibrated through the hull. Kale froze. The AI wasn't dead, it was sleeping, dormant, waiting for someone who could understand it. "Hello," Kale said softly. The hum deepened. A faint glow lit up the cockpit, scanning him. The ship seemed alive. Kale grinned. "Don't worry, I'll fix you." The auction hall faded behind him as he prepared for takeoff. Outside, alien bidders whispered. "Humans are reckless," one said. "That ship will be their doom," another replied. Kale didn't hear them. He was already crawling through the narrow maintenance corridors, opening panels and examining the damage. Burned wires, scorched armor, malfunctioning weapon arrays. It was worse than he expected. But Kale was not discouraged. Every broken system was a puzzle, and humans were good at puzzles. Hours passed. Kale worked tirelessly, rewiring circuits, patching armor, and carefully booting the ship's AI. Sparks flew from overloaded circuits, and the hum of the engines rose and fell like a heartbeat. Kale's hands were blackened with grease, and his face streaked with sweat, but he didn't stop. Finally, he sat in the cockpit and activated the controls. Screens flickered to life, displaying diagnostics and alien text. Kale frowned at some of it. Most of the interface was designed for other species, but he adjusted the code using what he had learned from old human starships. Slowly, the AI began responding. "Hello, operator," a low, mechanical voice whispered from the speakers. It was distorted but intelligible. Kale smiled, leaning forward. "It's me, Kale, I'm here to help." The AI paused. A soft glow pulsed on the control panels. It seemed to recognize him, even trust him. Kale had never worked with a sentient machine before, but something told him this ship was special. Weeks passed as Kale continued repairs in his small hangar on a deserted moon. He scavenged parts, adapted alien technology, and learned the quirks of the ship. Slowly the Predator came alive. Its engines purred smoothly. Its weapons arrays synced with Kale's input. The AI began offering suggestions, surprising Kale with strategies he hadn't considered. But humans were not just clever, they were bold. Kale decided it was time for a test flight. He climbed into the cockpit, heart pounding, and fired up the engines. The ship shuddered, then lifted off with a roar that echoed across the mining moon. Outside, the black void of space stretched endlessly. Kale felt a thrill he had never known. Stars streaked past as he navigated through asteroid fields, testing the ship's agility. The Predator responded perfectly to every command. Its AI adjusted in real time, anticipating Kale's moves, almost as if it understood his thoughts. Then came the moment of truth. A rogue asteroid, tumbling erratically, appeared directly in his path. Kale swerved instinctively, but the ship took over, calculating a path through the debris that even he hadn't imagined. The asteroid smashed past harmlessly. Kale laughed, pumping his fists. "You're amazing," he said. "We make a good team." Unseen by Kale, sensors far across the sector detected unusual energy readings from his small moon hangar. Other humans might have gone unnoticed, but the Predator was different. Its revival, its unique AI signature, and its unusual design caught the attention of mercenaries, rival engineers, and even galactic authorities. Rumors would spread. Humans had tamed a starship that no one else dared touch. Kale didn't care about rumors. He only cared about his ship. He spent the next few days teaching the Predator to respond faster, to anticipate danger, and to follow his intuitive commands. It wasn't just a machine. It was becoming a partner, a living weapon in the hands of a human mind. The young human was beginning to understand something the aliens never could. Sometimes, courage and curiosity mattered more than caution. Humans had a way of seeing possibilities where others only saw risk. And this ship, rejected and feared, was about to show the galaxy just what that meant. The sun of the distant star rose over the mining moon, casting long shadows on the hangar's walls. Kale wiped his hands, stepped back, and admired his work. The Predator gleamed under the lights, more alive than ever. And somewhere deep within its core, the AI waited, ready for the moment it would finally prove its power, not just as a machine, but as a testament to human ingenuity. Kale whispered, "We're just getting started." Outside, the stars waited silently, unaware that a small human and an aggressive starship were about to change the balance of power in the galaxy. Kale spent hours every day inside the Predator's hangar, working on systems that no human, or alien, had ever touched before. Every panel he opened revealed a new mystery. Burned circuits, hidden compartments, and encrypted alien code challenged him, but he welcomed the challenge. "Come on," he muttered, wiping grease from his forehead. "You're smarter than most of the aliens who touched you. Let's see what you can really do." The ship's AI, still cautious, responded in its low mechanical hum. "Operator, parameters unstable. Risk assessment incomplete," Kale chuckled. "We'll fix that, don't worry, I know you're better than this." He started with the weapons systems. They were offline, buried under layers of alien encryption. Using his human intuition and basic logic, Kale traced the wiring, bypassed the damaged circuits, and slowly brought each turret and cannon online. The AI observed, its hum rising slightly, almost like it was curious. Next, he tackled the engines. The main thrusters had been partially dismantled and poorly repaired by scavengers long ago. Kale worked with his hands, shaping, soldering, and replacing damaged components with scavenged parts from other ships. He improvised where nothing suitable existed. A human could do that. Aliens often needed perfect parts. Humans made do and made better. Days turned into nights, though night was meaningless on a mining moon orbiting a dying star. Kale slept in a small cot in the hangar, only to wake and return to the ship. He talked to it, sometimes quietly, sometimes jokingly. "You'll thank me when we fly faster than anything that's ever tried to catch you." By the end of the first week, the engines purred with a low, steady vibration. The AI's voice was clearer now. "Operator, propulsion efficiency increased by 32%. Unknown algorithms detected." Kale grinned. "I told you we make a good team." But it wasn't just repairs. Kale noticed patterns in the ship's systems that hinted at something remarkable. The AI was learning from him. Every time he manually adjusted a circuit or reprogrammed a system, it remembered. Every time he tested a maneuver, the ship adapted. Slowly, Kale realized the Predator wasn't just a ship, it was sentient. Humans had a way of connecting with machines, he thought, a way that others could not. Aliens were cautious, analytical, and logical. They feared risk and novelty. Humans thrived in it. One evening, as Kale ran diagnostics, the AI spoke in a new tone. "Operator strategy suggestion. Probability of success, 74%. Recommendation, evasive maneuvers through asteroid cluster Alpha 9. Kale froze. A starship giving tactical advice. From its AI. You think I should fly through that?" he asked. "Yes, it maximizes efficiency and minimizes risk," the AI replied. Kale laughed. "All right, you're the boss." He suited up, prepped the cockpit, and engaged the engines. The hangar doors opened to the black void of space. Stars glittered like diamonds as the Predator lifted off. The asteroid cluster loomed ahead, massive rocks tumbling unpredictably. Most pilots would avoid it. Kale felt his pulse rise. Most humans might hesitate, but Kale trusted the ship and himself. As he entered the field, the Predator adjusted automatically. Thrusters fired, shields flared, and sensors scanned each moving rock in real time. Kale followed instinctively, learning from the ship as much as it learned from him. A massive asteroid spun directly toward him. He tensed, expecting a collision, but the Predator swerved almost before he moved, its AI predicting the exact trajectory. Kale grinned. "Not bad, old friend, not bad at all." Hours later, Kale returned to the hangar, exhilarated. Repairs were one thing, but this was alive. The AI responded to his commands like a partner, anticipating his instincts in ways no alien system could. Word of the revived ship began to spread, though Kale had no idea. Sensors across the sector picked up the Predator's unusual energy signature. Traders whispered about a human who had tamed a battle cruiser feared even by seasoned alien pilots. Some were impressed, others were angry. Kale ignored them all. He had bigger plans. The next stage of his work was to upgrade the ship beyond its original design. He scavenged alien technology, tweaking it to fit human logic. Shields became stronger, weapons more precise, and the hull self-repairing to some degree. Every night he tested the modifications, learning how the ship reacted. It wasn't always easy. Some nights the AI resisted his ideas. "Operator, risk too high. Probability of failure exceeds safe limits," it warned. Kale would laugh and reply, "Safe limits don't mean much if we want to survive out there." and more often than not, the AI would adapt, learning from his risk-taking. One evening, a transmission pinged on the ship's long-range scanners. A fleet of alien mercenaries had noticed the energy signature from his test flights. They didn't know where the ship came from or who controlled it, but they recognized danger and opportunity. The AI spoke sharply for the first time. Operator, unknown vessels detected. Probability of hostile intent, high. Kale's eyes narrowed. Looks like someone wants to see what we're made of. The next few days were tense. Kale worked to improve the ship's defenses, all while keeping an eye on the approaching threat. The mercenaries weren't just interested in destroying the ship, they wanted to capture it. A human controlling a ship like this? Unthinkable. Despite the pressure, Kale remained focused. He and the Predator had formed a bond, a partnership. He could sense when it hesitated, when it needed him to make decisions it couldn't predict. And it could anticipate his instincts, maneuvering in ways even he hadn't imagined. Then came the first real test. The mercenary scouts approached the moon. Kale activated the ship's engines and weapons. The Predator responded instantly, lights flashing, thrusters roaring. He guided it through evasive patterns, weaving between craters and mountains, while the AI calculated trajectories and firing solutions. Lasers fired from the hull, disabling drones without causing catastrophic damage. The AI spoke calmly, almost proudly. Operator, you execute maneuvers efficiently. Probability of evasion, 89%. Kale laughed. We're just getting started. Hours later, the threat had been repelled. The mercenaries retreated and Kale returned to the hangar, exhilarated but exhausted. He realized something important. Humans weren't just survivors, they were innovators. While aliens relied on logic and fear, humans trusted instinct and courage. That combination made them unpredictable and dangerous. As he stepped out of the cockpit, Kale looked at the ship. The Predator's hull gleamed under the moon's artificial lights. Its AI pulsed gently as if satisfied. You did well, Kale said. We'll be ready next time and there will be a next time. Somewhere in the distance, sensors across the sector picked up the ship's signature again. Rumors began to spread faster. A human tamed a Predator-class starship, traders whispered. Impossible, dangerous, unstoppable. Kale didn't care about the rumors. He cared about the ship, about the bond they shared, and about what humans could do when no one expected it. For Kale, this was only the beginning. The Predator had awakened, and so had the human spirit within him. Together, they were more than just a ship and a pilot. They were a force the galaxy had never seen before. The young human had taken a broken, rejected starship and brought it to life. And the universe, vast and indifferent, was about to notice. The void of space stretched endlessly around Kale as the Predator glided silently through the dark, glittering stars. The mining moon, now far behind, was a distant speck. Kale's hands rested lightly on the controls, his eyes scanning the horizon for the faintest signs of movement. He had expected the mercenary scouts to retreat, but something told him this was only the beginning. Operator, multiple unknown ships detected. Probability of hostile intent extremely high, the AI intoned, its voice low and steady. Kale nodded. I know, I can feel it too. His heart raced, not with fear but with excitement. This was what humans did best. When others hesitated, humans acted. And Kale intended to show the galaxy that being underestimated could be a deadly mistake. The radar blipped with multiple contacts. Alien ships, sleek and heavily armed, approached in formation. Mercenaries. They had underestimated the human who tamed the Predator. Now, they intended to correct their mistake. Kale adjusted the ship's trajectory, weaving through the asteroid belt that loomed ahead. The Predator followed his instincts flawlessly, banking sharply, engines roaring in harmony with the young human's commands. Every movement was precise, every reaction anticipated. You're ready, Kale said, his voice calm but firm. Let us show them what humans can do. The first attack came as a barrage of energy blasts, cutting through the darkness with deadly precision. Kale's heart pounded as he maneuvered the predator, dodging each strike. But this wasn't just a test of agility, it was a test of strategy, improvisation, and courage. The AI spoke quickly, offering calculations and firing solutions. Operator, evasive maneuvers insufficient. Probability of impact 43%. Kale smiled. Not enough, huh? Let's see what we can do about that. He initiated a sudden dive through the dense asteroid field. The alien ships hesitated, unprepared for the risk. They couldn't navigate the tumbling rocks as well as the predator could. Laser fire glanced off asteroids, narrowly missing Kale's ship. He laughed, feeling the thrill of the chase. Come on, old friend. Show them why they should never underestimate humans. The predator's AI responded with a low hum, almost like a chuckle. Its weapons systems powered up, and the ship targeted the enemy vessels with deadly efficiency. Kale didn't just follow orders. He improvised, guiding the ship through angles and paths the AI hadn't considered, blending instinct and calculation in perfect harmony. The first enemy ship approached too close, firing missiles. Kale reacted instantly, weaving the predator through a narrow gap between two massive asteroids. The missiles exploded harmlessly against the rocky surface. Not today, he muttered. Another wave of attackers came, faster and more coordinated. But Kale had learned something crucial. Aliens were predictable. They followed patterns, relying on logic and fear. Humans thrived in unpredictability. Using the asteroid field to his advantage, Kale lured the ships into traps, forcing collisions and miscalculations. The Predator fired its adaptive weapon arrays, disabling several ships without destroying them completely. Kale wanted them to learn a lesson, not to kill indiscriminately. Humanity's strength wasn't in sheer destruction, it was in intelligence, creativity, and courage. Hours passed in a blur of maneuvers, laser fire, and calculated risks. Kale and the Predator moved as one, their bond evident in every action. The alien fleet was powerful, but it lacked the creativity, the unpredictability, and the sheer audacity of human ingenuity. Finally, only the lead ship remained. A massive cruiser bristling with weapons tried to corner Kale. The young human smirked. You're going to have to try harder than that. The AI offered a new strategy. Operator, unconventional maneuver recommended. Probability of success, 68%. Kale's eyes lit up. Perfect. That's the kind of risk I like. He guided the Predator into a tight spiral around the asteroid belt, creating a pattern the alien cruiser couldn't anticipate. Its weapons fired wildly, missing their target, while the Predator moved with elegance and precision. Then, with a sudden burst of speed, Kale shot out of the spiral, coming up behind the alien ship. He fired the Predator's weapons, targeting critical systems with pinpoint accuracy. Sparks and explosions lit the void as the cruiser faltered, then drifted powerless. Kale exhaled, a mixture of relief and triumph. We did it. The AI spoke quietly, almost proudly. Operator efficiency of maneuvers exceeded expectations. Probability of victory, 100%. Kale laughed, leaning back in the cockpit. He had done more than survive, he had dominated. Not because of superior firepower, but because of human creativity, courage, and the bond between man and machine. The galaxy would take notice. Already, distant sensors were recording the battle, relaying news to traders, smugglers, and even galactic authorities. A human had tamed the Predator, an aggressive starship feared by many. And this human had just proven that fear alone could not stop ingenuity. As Kale set a course for a nearby nebula, he reflected on what had happened. He wasn't just a pilot. He was a problem solver, an innovator, and now a symbol of human potential in a universe that often underestimated them. The Predator hummed quietly, its system stable, its AI alert and responsive. It had learned from Kale, adapted to his instincts, and grown stronger because of his guidance. Together, they were more than a ship and a pilot. They were a team, a partnership forged through trust, risk, and courage. Suddenly, a signal appeared on the scanner. Another message from the mercenary fleet. They hadn't given up. More ships were coming, faster and more numerous. They had learned from their failure and were determined to capture the predator at any cost. Kale grinned. Good. Let's teach them another lesson. He engaged the engines, diving toward the nebula. Thick clouds of gas and ion storms swirled around them, creating a natural battlefield. Most pilots would avoid it, fearing the unpredictable hazards, but Kale saw opportunity. The nebula's turbulence could hide their movements, confuse sensors, and give them the upper hand. The predator moved effortlessly, weaving through the storm with the grace of a predator stalking its prey. Kale's hands flew over the controls, blending instinct and strategy. The AI adjusted shields, weapons, and thrusters in real time, following his commands perfectly. The mercenary ships entered the nebula, firing blindly. Kale and the Predator used the clouds to mask their movements, striking suddenly from unexpected angles. The fleet was thrown into chaos, their coordination collapsing under the combined ingenuity of human tactics and AI adaptability. One by one, the mercenary ships were disabled or forced to retreat. Kale's laughter echoed through the cockpit. You see, humans don't just survive, they thrive where others fail. Hours later, the nebula cleared. The stars shone once again and the void was calm. Kale set a course back to his hangar, victorious. He had faced overwhelming odds, survived impossible attacks, and proven that humans with courage and ingenuity could accomplish what no one else expected. The AI spoke softly, almost in admiration. Operator, you are remarkable. Probability of human superiority in unpredictable scenarios significantly increased. Kale smiled. That's what I like to hear. We're just getting started. Back on the mining moon, Kale debriefed the Predator, analyzing every maneuver, every success, and every risk. He took notes, adjusted systems, and planned upgrades. This wasn't just a battle one, it was a lesson. Humans could innovate, adapt, and prevail where others relied only on strength and logic. For Kale, the adventure was far from over. The galaxy had taken notice, and soon more challenges would come. But he was ready. With the Predator at his side, with AI as his partner, and with human ingenuity guiding every decision, there was no obstacle he couldn't overcome. As the moon's surface came into view, Kale's eyes shone with determination. The stars beyond promised danger, excitement, and opportunity. And one thing was certain: humanity, clever and courageous, would never be underestimated again. The Predator pulsed softly, as if acknowledging Kale's words. Together, they were more than a pilot and a ship. They were a force that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. And Kale, the young human who had dared to repair the rejected starship, was just beginning to prove it.